Everybody, welcome to Planter Grow Night. My name is Cliff Hart. We're about to kick off another session of our quarterly ongoing growing training, indoor food growing training program. So thanks so much for joining us. This week is all about easy herb and greens recipes, really the basics of harvesting and understanding exactly how to grow and use the things you're growing in your meals. So shifting away from the grocery store, beginning to not import into your home, replacing expensive things like basil, mint, oregano, and actually growing that yourself. So this is all part of our program to teach you how to grow more than 75 pounds of food in less space than a coffee table with LED grow lights. It is part of our Planter indoor food growing training program. And let me put that link up for you so you got it. It's free to join anytime. It allows you to get email reminders and things like these events as we have them that are live streamed on social media channels. You're able to get recipes, setup guides. We highlight certain products that are easy to use and to get started with. Lots of different ways of helping you out. Our goal here, of course, is to actually get you to do indoor growing year round. So 4 times per year, 4 full harvests in a single year. We also have live virtual growing and in-person events on our website, indoorgardenmarket.com, and also in local areas. If you happen to live in the Northern Virginia area, Baltimore, Cincinnati, or Vancouver, Washington, please check out our website because we have events for you to join and see these systems up close, taste the difference in the greens and herbs, and even get support through one of our services and our programs to get started. So without further ado, let's kick things off. And we're going to look at a couple of different things here. But to start off with is our live harvest demo. So I have a variety of different systems. Some are larger than others. I'm going to use the Movka, which is one of my smaller systems to give you a sense of how to harvest. Lots of different ways to do this, of course. But you can see these plants are actually fairly small. Kind of zoom in here for you. A little bit too small to harvest, but you can get the idea about how to do it when you have a larger plant. You see that these plants are typically putting up a central part of the plant, and then there's outer leaves. Those outer leaves are the ones you want to harvest from once you're starting off. Keep in mind that you never want to cut back more than 2/3 of the plant. You always want to make sure that you've got the plant ready to grow more. So if there's no leaves, the plant can't grow back. So you can't just chop it off like they do in a grocery store or one of the traditional ways of getting these kinds of things. This is a Mufka system. It's really simple. Only grows 8 plants at a time. Plants are just dropped into the system using one of these baskets, and it's got a built-in light. You want to keep that light really close to the plants as they're growing. This is ideal for greens and herbs. A culinary greens and herbs, I would say, you may harvest from this a couple times a week. Pretty small though. You want to grow a lot more, like actual eating all the time from a system. We'll talk about some others pretty quick here and show you how to do that. So when you're harvesting, it's ideal to actually have some kind of a clean harvesting implement. So I use scissors. These are kind of different than my standard scissors. Basically, I keep them as clean as possible, and you're going to chop off the outer edges. Basically, go in a circle around that plant and chop off what you need. Nice thing about these systems is that you can harvest anytime you want. You can harvest and eat right away. You don't need to go to the grocery store, throw that plant, now dead, half dead, into a bag, stick in the back of your refrigerator, wait for it to die. It's there, hanging out with you, living, enjoying life until you're ready to consume it. So really nice, easy way of getting started, getting going. If all of this is new to you, we have all of the beginning parts of this process as part of our indoor food growing training program. We do weekly lives, and so you can always go back and watch those previous programs, and you can get caught up with us. So that's kind of the basics here, like how you would harvest from different plants. The main thing to remember is just don't harvest too much. You want to harvest frequently, but don't harvest too much. If you can notice inside of this picture over here on the left, this is actually grown under happy leaf lights, which is pretty nice. One of the more interesting light systems that we would recommend. They are 32 watts, super high efficiency. They're able to grow really nice greens, herbs, fruiting plants. I mean, basically everything grows well with these systems. But if you notice in the picture, down at the bottom of this central plant, that one has leaves that are kind of drooping. It's because there's not enough light hitting those leaves. So this is a really high efficiency LED light. You can see it's pretty high up. It doesn't really need to be close in order to be successful for these plants. But the plants are going to be, the different leaves are going to be starving for light. So it's always best to harvest early, harvest often. Get that plant producing more leaves and keep moving, keep eating. Because if you let it get too full, then you'll notice that a lot of these leaves are essentially wasted. Like those leaves down at the bottom there, you're not going to want to eat those. So you're going to cut them off. Hopefully you'll compost them, but most likely they'll end up in the trash. So make sure that you are watching out for that as you are growing. I'm going to jump over into give you an idea, a couple different recipes you can do. So a fresh herb vinaigrette is really easy to do. You can use a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped herbs, parsley, basil, whatever you like within the range of herbs. All of those grow well in these systems. Basil or parsley is going to grow very nicely in a small system like the one I just showed you, or even one of the big systems out there. You can add on a little bit of red or white wine vinegar, a little bit of mustard, Dijon mustard, 1/2 teaspoon, salt and pepper to taste. Very simple. The nice thing about this is you're going to harvest directly from the plants. And so this could be middle of a Saturday when you're watching Netflix, catching up on your series. Just walk over to your system, harvest some plants, and make a small salad. Really nice. You can adjust to the seasoning as needed, and you're going to mix all of the seasoning ingredients together separately and then pour those over your greens. I have to be honest, a lot of the greens really don't need it. They're usually sweeter and fresher than you might imagine, so pretty nice. Moving along here, a lettuce wrap bites. So it's kind of a non-gluten way, or let's say a way of doing a lot of standard types of meals, say tacos, without having to use a bun or a tortilla or something like that. So you're going to break off your leaves and then wrap those around a bunch of cooked chicken or say tofu, something like that. You can add in cherry tomatoes that you're growing indoors. We recommend dwarf varieties of those cherry tomatoes, for example, and maybe some carrot slices, peanut or soy sauce. I mean, it's a really basic. You're going to cook your protein first, add in spices to it, and then you're going to just wrap them up in these very fresh lettuce pieces. We definitely recommend on the upper left side of the screen there, Grow Mesh system is one that we use a lot. It's made in the USA. It's made in Georgia, actually invented by a gentleman down there named Nathan. By far the most easy and efficient way of growing indoors that I know of. You will need to get extra lights, but we can help you out with that at our website, indoorgardenmarket.com, and you can grow anything you want in it: herbs, greens, fruits, tomatoes, cucumbers, beans, peppers. I mean, it's very, very flexible, easy to use. There's no app, there's no really complex technology involved in it. It's just super simple. So moving right along here, mint and basil really grow excellent in these hydroponic systems, I have to say. So if you've never tried it before, I would recommend a combination mint and basil flower tea. When your basil gets to a certain size, it's probably going to flower. Makes a very, very nice tea. So you can use 1/2 cup of fresh mint leaves, 1/4 cup of fresh basil leaves with the flowers. You want to kind of crush those a little bit, crush them together, and then you're going to add those into the leaves and flowers into a teapot, pour 2 cups of boiling water over the herbs. Let it steep or soak in that hot water for about 5 to 15 minutes, and then strain it and sweeten with honey. Really interesting flavors you may not expect with something like this. It's pretty amazing. Highly recommend that. Mint, you don't necessarily have to have in a hydroponic system. Mint is almost the easiest kind of plant you could ever grow. As long as you have at least a 50-watt grow light over the mint and you have it in a small pot of soil on the side, you're going to be fine. It's going to grow really well. So very easy to do. Let me take a pause here. If you are just joining us and you're not sure where you are, we are actually indoorgardenmarket.com, and we have a free growing training program that allows you to learn how to grow food indoors year-round in large amounts. In our experience, we have been able to grow more than 75 pounds of food in less space than a coffee table with LED grow lights. That's 4 times per year. So imagine that you are starting in January, and then every 3 months you're starting a new crop cycle, basically every quarter of the year. That means you're doing 4 years worth of growing across one single year. It's really a revolution. If you've never heard of it before, that's all right. We've got all the resources you need right there at the free indoor food growing training program, email reminders, virtual live events you can join from anywhere. And we also have a consulting hour package as well that can help you out when you get far enough along where you maybe have some questions. So lots of interesting things going on there. Now, after you have you started harvest and you're beginning to eat and do those things, in order to get full production here, you really want to stagger your crops for continuous cutting. So for greens and herbs, I would say probably every 3 to 4 weeks, I would plant a bunch more seedlings, and it can be anything you imagine. There's hundreds or thousands of kinds of lettuce out there. There's thousands of kinds of basil. I mean, there's so many things we never get to experience because we just haven't had the opportunity, whether it was for lack of space outdoors, whether it was for the weather, or too busy. All of those things are going to be kind of flipped on their head now as we're entering an area of abundance, and you are able to grow whatever you want in the simplest way possible year-round indoors using LED grow lights. Some tips for soil and hydroponics. So hydroponics, again, it's very simple. Let me grab one of my seedlings right here. These plants are just grown inside of like a little cup. It has a small plug that the plant is actually growing in, and you drop these into your system. Almost all the systems will work with this. It's very simple to get started. You can kind of see it right there, those little white parts. That's the root system actually growing through the medium and growing out. It makes it very easy to grow. You just pop a seed into the plug that seed into the basket in your system, and start growing. That's all you need to do. There's no weeding. There's very little bugs inside. It is possible to grow in soil on the side and then transplant over into a hydroponic system. You're basically going to grow your plants up to a certain size, 3 weeks or so, somewhere in that neighborhood. Then take the plants out of the soil, wash them off, and then put them into your hydroponic system. Just drop them into one of these baskets and start growing. Really easy to do. The funny part is about this, the next point, what to do with leftover herbs. I mean, you don't really have leftover herbs in the end. When the plant reaches the end of its life cycle, I would certainly recommend composting it. If you've got a service for that, if you could set up a worm box, that's one thing we recommend in our intro classes, and we teach you how to do. So that's really easy. But because you're growing these things fresh, you don't really have stuff that just sort of dies on you because you can't eat it. Because you're always eating the freshest possible greens and herbs. And that also means that you're not getting greens and herbs and food that's sprayed with chemicals. You're not spraying chemicals on your food growing indoors, obviously. We don't know what's happening in the food supply around us. This is a great way of kind of taking ownership and understanding where your food supply is coming from. So thanks so much for joining us. We actually have a little image over here on the left. This is the grow mesh garden we talked a little bit about. It's sort of a DIY system that I've set up, grows indoors. So it's got 2 lights side by side and 16 plants in each of the 2 systems that you see pictured here. To give you a sense of it, those 2 systems are going to produce about 5 full-size salads a week of greens and herbs. This system will also handle tomatoes and dwarf-sized cucumbers as well. So lots of possibilities here. Very easy to get going. It's typically about $1 a plant over the course of the plant's life cycle. it couldn't get any cheaper. It's much cheaper than grocery. And when you're growing indoors, you just don't have any issues really with bugs and sprays and transportation. I mean, it's all right there for you. It takes a few minutes a week of maintenance typically to take care of it or to restart your new growing. It's really simple. So we'd love to hear from you. If you are on one of the social channels, please do hashtag #MyIndoorFoodGarden so that we can see what you might be growing. We'd love to share it on one of our live streams, and maybe even invite you to give us a tour of your garden. I mean, that would be amazing if you can do a quick video, then at Planter or do hashtag #MyIndoorFoodGarden. That would be great. We'd love to highlight it on one of our live streams and show people that what the potential is. It's very unknown. Most of the world lives in urban places. Most of the world will never have access to a backyard or any limit or space outside, let alone have the right climate to grow year round. But because of the cheap LED grow lights that we have available and their power, we can now grow anything we want indoors year round in about the same size space as a coffee table. So it's a really exciting time, and I'm happy you could join us. If you do need more resources, other indoor growing supplies, we do recommend HTG Supply. It's right there. I put the QR code up for you. So they've got other hydroponic systems. They have plugs. They have nutrients. They've got lots of stuff available for you. So definitely go and check it out. And keep in mind that this indoor growing, you should look at it as a +1 and not an either or to outdoor growing. If you're a great outdoor grower, you absolutely should be growing indoors. So many advantages to it. You get way better at outdoor growing if you start indoors because the failure rate is so low. It's much, much simpler. So do yourself a favor. If you do grow outdoors, definitely add in indoors because you'll be amazed at how much more you can grow and how much better you get at growing outdoors when you get this kind of experience year round. So definitely check out HTG Supply. And also, don't forget to hashtag #MyIndoorFoodGarden so that we can highlight you in one of our next events. So thanks so much for joining us. Make sure that you are sharing this information. And I'm going to put our QR code up one more time to actually get you a chance to try our free growing training program. So this is virtual. This is indoor. This is 12 months out of the year. There are no restrictions on how much you want to produce. You can produce enough to replace the grocery store in greens and herbs, and pretty close to doing the same with tomatoes, cucumbers. I mean, it depends on your investment level and time and resources, but really super exciting. Next week, we are actually going to be talking about slow growers, tomatoes, peppers, and more indoors. Now, to give you a preview of that, you can grow almost any conceivable kind of fruiting plant. So beans, peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, strawberries. You can grow all of these inside. Really important point though, you need to use a dwarf size plant because the other kinds of plants grow too large. They would require too much energy. They just don't produce fruit in an efficient fashion. If you use a dwarf size plant, you can do that. We dive into all the details coming up next Saturday, July 26th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Really hope to see you there. And let me throw our website up one more time for you. So you got that. We are at indoorgardenmarket.com. Really hope you can join us and grow food year-round indoors. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat below. We are monitoring the chat. We will definitely get back to you. And if you have any questions on our website, go ahead and throw that into the chat. Someone will get back to you, usually right away, to help you out. Our goal is to make sure that you are able to grow for your family more than 75 pounds of food in less space than a coffee table with LED grow lights. That's our goal. More of a philosophy to start with, but as you begin to experience the freedom of it and understand how powerful it is, I think you're going to be impressed and you're going to love it. So definitely head over to our website, indoorgardenmarket.com, sign up for a free virtual growing event, sign up for a live in-person event in one of our service areas. And if you love growing seedlings, you might consider joining us and being part of our community grower program. It's all on our website. Thanks so much for joining us this week for the Planter Grow Night. We've got slow growers, tomatoes, peppers, and more indoors coming up. And we look forward to seeing what you can grow online, virtually,